Hey, it's Andre, and well, it's time for another video, and I titled this one, Nice Rack, because that's what it's about. Airplane storage. Airplane storage is a huge RC airplane storage, because if you got a real airplane, then storage shouldn't be a problem, because you're living a different lifestyle. But RC hobbyists, and thank you for the last video comments. Everybody kind of chimed in on what they thought. I want to preface some of my comments too that we still need the manufacturers doing what they're doing. It just, the prices are a little hard at times for us to digest and swallow. But I digress. This video is about talking about how I've done some of my RC storage in the hangar. And I'm doing this a little different. I've got my higher end camera in my hand, which is really heavy, I'm noticing. But hey, we're gonna have a little fun, discuss the different types of storage around this this place. There's one right there. There's another one back there. So the hangar over the years has evolved and the storage has changed. One of the big differences is every year when something is a little bit more cumbersome, or I feel like I need to change something, I grab some wood and I make a stand. The last one was for the Carbon Z Cub and the Carbon Z28, which I'll show later on. The back wall is pretty obvious, and all this stuff, the wood and everything, I sourced from Home Depot, and it's just these rack channels and pieces, and they all work out. There's also that nice one which I picked up from FMS and Great Hobbies, and that's just your standard tripod or airplane stand. I like it because it's portable. I use it when I go to the field, particularly if I have to assemble a jet, something like the A-10. I've done that before, and that's come out really handy. And then I've made complete custom shelves for all the other planes. I guess we're going to jump right into some of this stuff, and I'll point it out as I go. So here we go. This stuff back here, as I said, is all from Home Depot. These standard Home Depot style, I think it's Rubbermaid that made these guys, racks. And the problem with this design is it only works with certain airplanes. So very much a forward swept wing, or just a forward, and you can even see on the Pawnee, I've had to make some longer extensions on the mounts to make it all work out. But they hang there, they're nice, they're snug, and you can get two, and you can still get some functional space below it and everything. So this is one of the ways of doing it. The rails, unfortunately, are not cheap. I will say this, they are not cheap. They do cost a bit of money, but once they're up there, and you can get the arms to be a little bit longer. These are just shelf pieces, right? Everybody knows this. And they're just, it works. I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have lots of airplanes, and I try not to put them too close. You got to account for the canopy versus landing gear often, but in most cases they sit there and they're quite happy and they stay out of harm's way. So down here, as I mentioned, is this really nice FMS stand that I picked up from Great Hobbies. And I use this on a bunch of different, when I go in the field and everything. I've used it when I've gone to Ohio, and it just makes it easy to hold the airplanes. When I'm doing stuff on the bench, obviously, I think this is a Great Plains one. Again, something I picked up from Great Hobbies, and does the job and seems to work out well. And of course, the original. I built this one many years ago, and as far as I'm concerned, its design is very adequate for the 1100 millimeter size. The only drawback I will preface with this kind of design are the tail sections. You have to be very aware of it. I mean, I could spill out measurements and everything, but I think you get the idea. Casters are important. Brackets are important, and again, it's all that hardware I picked up from Home Depot, which does the job. And these are all like 10 and 11 inch brackets, and they all work, and they're all interchangeable, all height adjustable, which I think makes a huge difference for this product. Again, if you were to make it a little bit wider, you would have less tail feather problems, right? And you could stack and pull them all out. I guess that's the biggest thing I worry about when I do it, is I just got to be super careful. And you're wondering, why the height difference? Why so low? Well, if I go any higher, there's all the bulkheads for the HVAC in the room, right? So I've made the height pretty well as maximum as I want to go. And if I got any taller, I'd be worried that the base wouldn't be able to handle it. Casters are just little things from chairs and stuff that I found, but there are, I think, 6 on this one, and that just keeps it nice and stable, allows it to sink into the carpet, stay level enough and everything. But again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I don't think the UMX counts, but enough airplanes that it makes it useful. And again, I can slide it around and move it around. The jets. So the jets obviously are a different form factor, and they sit fuselage mounted versus wing mounted. I know everybody's going to probably say, ooh, on the wings and everything, but I haven't seen any kind of deflection over the years when I've done this. Now the jet ones obviously sit differently, because if you were to try and mount them with the fuselage, well, the whole system would be huge and long, right? Because the fuselages are longer on the jets. Same principle, you just make the whole thing wide enough for the wing profile, which I believe is that F4 down there, and that just sits down the very bottom rack and does its thing. I tried the whole tubing experiment with the A10. The A10's wings actually sit back here in the back row of the fighter jet, or the EDF jet rack, and again, it's on rack wheels and everything. I could spin out dimensions, but again, you're making these based on your size. So I could have gone a little taller with this guy, I suppose, but I think I used a 6 or 8 foot, or yeah, something like that for the rack piece. Cut it and put the other halves in the back. But again, you can buy the arm mounts, and you can change the sizes between 10, 12, 8, and I even think they have a 16-inch. Back to the A10, this thing is completely customized and just set up for the FMS A10, and works out really well. Then you got another long jet rack, which does what it has to do and how it's set up. And yes, it blocks the projector screen. Yes, my wife says why, but it works. And then a Warbird one, and obviously the D18 isn't much of a Warbird, but originally that's what was on top of this one. The only problem with this kind of style of design is you have to take the top plane off, the second plane off, to get to the third plane, because they kind of slot in through their nose sections. So kind of worked with the space I had, and it seemed to do the job. So there's some Warbirds, and they are mounted World War I biplanes with hooks and some wood. And that does a great job onto the landing gear. So when the giant Wacko project came into the hangar, it was big. And this is one of the early ideas I came up with. It uses a lot more 2x4, and all that 2x4 is actually used to hold the RC trucks, which I use on occasion. But you can see the Wacko wing can be set there nicely, and the whole airframe and the fuselage sits and works out really well. So kind of a simple idea, and it's all spaced out, so when the tail feathers are on, it fits to the back of the space, and well, everything's nice and safe. The wing sits up there with some pads, and I used to have some other flying wings on the back wall here, but this airplane is here, and maybe this year I'll fly this thing. Who knows? So the last rack was one of the more interesting ones to construct. I wanted to be able to store the 2 big carbon Zs and keep them kind of secure and be able to roll them out of the way. And I think I succeeded. Again, a couple casters, 2x4s, platforms, some parts to grab, some ways to support the wings. There's even a Buddy RC aircraft in the back, just sitting there. I think that's a Challenger. But this just allowed me to keep the wings, particularly on the T-28, a little safer. They were just like stuck in a corner for a while. And this works. Again, I can give measurements and everything, but I think it's best to build for the space you have. There's a 2x4 in the back here, and that comes down and wraps around. There's a little post there for the wing, and it actually rolls really nicely. Oops. Just have to be mindful of the airplane behind. All right, I'm Andre, and that's been a quick little hangar tour and how I kind of deal with storing some of my RC planes and the various rack solutions I've come up over the years. I'll take you out to the garage next time, and you can see how I deal with some of the gas planes and the nitro planes and keep them above all the chaos that is in the garage. There's also stuff in the back storage all hung up with lanyard straps and everything. But that's my solution. Hey, thanks for all the awesome comments in the last video. I'm going to try and keep producing some content and everything and try out different things. I definitely won't be strong arming this GH5. And that I think I'll stick to some lighter weight cameras so I'm not so out of breath and shaking here. But I'm Andre. Welcome to the hangar. Thanks for all the fun.